Imagine this. You are in front of a group of people. They are waiting to hear you speak. The moment is important. You open your mouth, you say a few words, and then you pause. You search for the next word. The silence grows. You feel your heart beating faster. Your mind feels empty. The people in front of you look at you, and you wish the floor could open and take you away. We have all had this feeling. The fear of speaking, the fear of forgetting, the fear of sounding slow or unsure. But here's the truth. Speaking without pausing is not a gift you are born with. It is a skill that you can learn. And today, you will learn exactly how to do it. Technique 1. Prepare your mind, not just your words. Most people believe that the secret to speaking without pausing is memorizing every single word. They think that if they can write their speech down, read it over and over, and repeat it exactly, they will sound confident and fluent. So they prepare long scripts. They spend hours trying to remember each sentence exactly as it is written. But here is the problem. The moment you forget even one sentence, your mind freezes. You stop, you pause, you panic. Your confidence disappears in an instant. The silence becomes heavy, and it feels like everyone is staring at you, waiting for you to recover. The truth is, memorizing words is like building a house out of fragile glass. It may look perfect in your mind, but the smallest mistake can break it. When you rely only on memorization, you're like a person walking on a narrow rope. One wrong step, and you fall. This is why so many people feel anxious before speaking. They know that one forgotten line can ruin everything. Instead, you must prepare your mind, not just your words. Preparing your mind means you focus on the ideas you want to share, not the exact sentences. Think of your speech like a road trip. You know the important places you want to visit along the way. You know your starting point and your destination, but you do not need to memorize every single turn, every traffic light, or every tree on the side of the road. If you take a different street but still reach the same destination, your trip is still a success. When you prepare this way, you give yourself freedom. If you forget one specific word, it is not a problem. You can simply choose another. If you lose the exact sentence you planned, you can create a new one on the spot. This freedom keeps your mind moving forward instead of getting stuck in the past trying to remember something you forgot. Another advantage of preparing ideas instead of memorizing words is that your speech sounds more natural. When you speak from memory, your voice can sound flat or robotic because you are focused on getting it right. But when you speak from ideas, your brain is alive in the moment. Your voice changes naturally. Your body language matches your words. You sound like a person having a conversation, not like someone reading from a script. Here's a simple way to prepare your mind. Before you speak, write down the 3 to 5 main points you want to share. Just short notes, not full sentences. Under each point, write 1 or 2 examples or stories you can use. Then practice speaking using only those notes. This will train your brain to speak freely while staying on track. The goal is not to sound perfect. The goal is to keep moving forward, no matter what happens. When you prepare your mind, you remove the pressure of perfection. You replace fear with flexibility. You gain the power to speak without long pauses, even if the conversation takes an unexpected turn. And that is the real secret to fluency: freedom, not memorization. Technique 2. Train your mouth to run faster than your fear. Speaking without pausing is not just about the brain. It is also about the mouth. Many language learners imagine that the only reason they pause is because they cannot think of the right word quickly enough. But in reality, there is another reason. Their mouth is not trained to keep up with their thoughts. They can think of the word, but their tongue, lips, and voice are not moving fast enough to say it smoothly. This creates a small gap. That gap feels like a mistake. And when you feel like you have made a mistake, fear quickly grows inside you. You lose focus and the pause becomes longer than it should. The good news is that you can solve this problem with something called speed speaking practice. This is a simple but powerful exercise that professional speakers, actors, and even radio hosts use. The goal is to train your mouth to move faster than your fear. You do this by taking a short text, just a few sentences at first, and reading it aloud faster than is comfortable. Do not worry if you make mistakes. Do not stop to correct yourself. The point is not perfection. The point is speed. When you first try this, it will feel strange. Your tongue may feel heavy. Your lips might trip over certain words. You might even feel like you are mumbling. This is normal. It is the same as running after not exercising for a long time. Your muscles feel tired and uncoordinated. But if you keep practicing, something amazing happens. After a few days, your mouth begins to move more smoothly. Your tongue finds the right shapes for words without you thinking about it. Your lips learn to form sounds quickly. Your voice starts to flow naturally. Once your mouth is trained to move faster, speaking becomes much easier. Even when your brain is busy choosing the right words, your mouth can keep going. The movement itself gives you momentum. And momentum is the enemy of awkward pauses. You will notice that you can keep speaking even when you are unsure of the next sentence. Your body will carry you forward while your mind catches up. It is also important to understand the relationship between fear and speed. Fear slows you down. The more you worry about mistakes, the more your body tenses, and the slower your mouth moves. But when you push yourself to speak faster, fear loses its power. You do not give it time to grow. Instead, you replace fear with rhythm and flow. Here is a quick routine you can try. Choose a short paragraph in English. Read it as fast as you can 3 times in a row. The first time you might stumble. The second time, you will be smoother. The third time, you will notice real improvement. Do this every day for a week, and you will feel the difference when you speak to people. Remember this, your voice is a muscle. The more you train it to move quickly, the more natural it will be to speak without pausing. Let your mouth run faster than your fear, and soon speaking will feel as easy as breathing. Technique 3. Learn the art of bridge words. When you listen to professional speakers, you might imagine that every sentence they say is perfect and planned. You might think they know exactly what word comes next in every moment. But here's a little secret. They don't. Even the best speakers in the world sometimes need time to think about their next idea. The difference is, they know how to hide that thinking time. They do it with something called bridge words, small connecting phrases that give them a few extra seconds to prepare the next part of their speech. Bridge words are like stepping stones across a river. Without them, you might get stuck on one rock, unsure how to reach the next. With them, you can keep moving smoothly from one idea to another without the audience noticing any gap. Examples of bridge words include phrases like, "You see," "The thing is," "Now let's talk about," "So what happens is," "The point I'm making is," and "Let me explain." They are short, natural expressions that carry you forward while your brain works in the background. When you use bridge words, something powerful happens. Your speech stays alive. Even if your brain is still searching for the next sentence, your voice is still moving, and your audience stays engaged. To them, it sounds like you are speaking naturally, telling a story, or explaining something step by step. But in reality, you are giving yourself time to think without falling into silence. Think about how this works in daily conversation. Imagine you are explaining something and suddenly you are not sure of the next point. Instead of freezing or saying or You can say, "Let me give you an example of that," or "This reminds me of something interesting." By the time you finish that short phrase, your brain has already found the words you were looking for. You keep the flow, and nobody notices you were thinking. Using bridge words also makes you sound more confident. Long, silent pauses can make you seem unsure, but smooth, connecting phrases show that you are in control of the conversation. Your audience feels comfortable listening because there are no awkward gaps. This is why TV presenters, radio hosts, and public speakers use bridge words constantly. To master this technique, start practicing bridge words in your everyday life. You don't have to wait for a formal speech. Use them when talking to friends, family, or colleagues. Make a list of 5 to 10 bridge phrases and practice saying them until they come naturally. The goal is to make them part of your speaking toolbox, so you can pull one out anytime you feel stuck. Remember, fluency is not just about knowing many words. It's about knowing how to connect them so your ideas keep moving. Bridge words are your invisible helpers. They carry you across moments of uncertainty and make you sound like you never stop thinking. Learn to use them well, and you'll speak with confidence, flow, and power every time. Technique 4. Stop chasing perfection. Many speakers pause not because they have nothing to say, but because they are searching for the perfect word. They want every sentence to sound like it came straight out of a book. They want every expression to be clever, clear, and grammatically flawless. While this might sound like a good goal, it is actually dangerous, especially for someone still building their speaking confidence. The search for perfection is one of the fastest ways to freeze your brain and stop your flow. The longer you stop to fix a sentence in your head, the more awkward the silence becomes, and the harder it is to start speaking again. You must understand this simple truth. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is movement. Fluency means you can keep going even when your sentence is not exactly how you imagined it. You can make small mistakes and still keep talking. You can use a simpler word if the advanced word you want doesn't come to mind. You can replace a phrase with another one in the moment. And guess what? Most listeners will never notice. They are not counting your grammar errors or checking your vocabulary. They are listening to your ideas, your tone, and your energy. When you try to be perfect every time you speak, you create a mental trap for yourself. You put so much pressure on each sentence that your brain becomes afraid to start the next one. This fear of making mistakes builds tension in your body, slows your thoughts, and eventually makes you pause more, not less. The irony is that chasing perfection often leads to the exact opposite: hesitation, silence, and broken communication. Instead, change your goal. Make your goal to keep moving forward no matter what. If you use the wrong word, keep going. If you mispronounce something, keep going. If your grammar is not 100% correct, keep going. You can correct yourself later if it's important, but in the moment, your job is to stay in motion. Think of speaking like riding a bicycle. If you stop pedaling, you fall. But if you keep pedaling, even at a slow speed, you stay balanced. The same rule applies to speaking. If you stop in the middle of your thought to search for perfection, you lose your balance and confidence. But if you keep moving, your confidence grows with every sentence, and the pauses slowly disappear. One practical way to train this is to practice speaking without editing. Set a timer for 1 or 2 minutes. Choose any topic. Speak continuously until the timer ends without going back to fix anything you say. If you make a mistake, ignore it and keep moving forward. This exercise will teach your brain to stay in motion and break the habit of stopping for perfection. Remember, nobody became fluent by waiting until they could speak perfectly. They became fluent by speaking imperfectly over and over until it became natural. Stop chasing perfection and start chasing progress. Your flow will improve. Your fear will shrink. and you will finally speak without the heavy pauses that hold you back. Technique 5. Use your breathing as your power source. Breathing is the secret fuel of every great speaker. Many people focus only on the words they want to say, the sentences they have prepared, or the ideas in their mind. But they forget about the one thing that powers both the body and the mind: the breath. Without proper breathing, your voice becomes weak, your sentences lose energy, and your mind slows down. This makes you pause more often, stumble over words, and feel nervous. Even if you know exactly what you want to say, poor breathing can make your speech feel awkward and unsteady. The truth is, your body and your mind are connected. Oxygen is fuel for your brain. If you do not breathe deeply and steadily, your brain does not get enough oxygen. Your thoughts become slower, your confidence decreases, and your words struggle to come out. On the other hand, when you breathe correctly, your voice becomes stronger, your brain works faster, and your speech becomes smoother. Proper breathing is like charging a battery. It gives energy to every word you speak. Before you speak, take a moment to prepare your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose and fill your lungs completely. Feel the air expanding your chest and your belly. Then exhale slowly and completely. This simple action signals your body that you are calm and ready. When you start speaking, use this steady flow of breath to support your voice. Push your words out gently but firmly, using your breath as the engine that drives them forward. This technique allows you to control your volume, your tone, and even the speed of your speech, reducing the need to pause unnecessarily. A practical exercise you can try is the 4-2-6 breathing technique. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath gently for 2 seconds. Then breathe out slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. This pattern calms your body, relaxes your mind, and prepares you to speak confidently. Practicing this before speaking, even for a minute, can dramatically improve your flow and reduce awkward pauses. Over time, this type of breathing becomes natural, and speaking without hesitation feels much easier. Breathing also gives you a rhythm. Think of it like a metronome for your speech. Each inhale and exhale sets a pace, helping you move smoothly from one idea to the next. When you pair your words with steady breathing, your voice sounds confident, your ideas feel connected, and your audience will enjoy listening to you more. Remember, speaking without pausing is not just about thinking fast or having a strong vocabulary. It is also about controlling your body. Your breath is the foundation of this control. By learning to use it as your power source, you give yourself strength, clarity, and confidence. The more you practice, the more your speech will flow naturally. Each deep, controlled breath will help you speak with power, presence, and purpose, and your pauses will become rare, intentional, and confident instead of accidental and nervous. Technique 6. Build a flow with storytelling. One of the main reasons people pause when they speak is that they are sharing too many facts without connecting them. They think about what to say next, trying to organize information in their mind, and suddenly the flow stops. Their brain feels overloaded. When this happens, pauses grow longer, hesitation appears, and confidence drops. But there is a simple way to prevent this. Tell a story. A story provides structure. It gives your mind a roadmap of where to go next. When your ideas follow a story, your speech flows naturally, and the pauses disappear. Stories have a natural rhythm. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Each part leads to the next. The audience can follow easily because our brains are wired to understand stories. We are attracted to sequences, characters, challenges, and resolutions. And for you, the speaker, this rhythm becomes a guide. Instead of searching for the next fact or sentence, your mind knows Okay, I am moving from the beginning to the middle, or now I am moving to the conclusion. This mental roadmap makes speaking easier and keeps your words moving continuously. When you tell a story, focus on pictures, not words. Don't try to remember exact sentences. Instead, see the events in your mind like a movie. Picture the scene, the people, the actions, and the surroundings. When you describe what you see, words come naturally. You are no longer searching for them. They flow automatically. This technique turns thinking into speaking. Your pauses shrink because your brain and mouth are working together, describing one vivid scene after another. For example, imagine you are telling a story about your first day at a new school. Picture the playground, the classroom, the teacher's smile, and your nervous steps. See the students talking and laughing around you. Then speak out loud about what you see. You do not need to plan sentences, just narrate the scene. The words will come because your mind is clear, and your audience will feel like they're watching the story unfold in real time. Storytelling also creates emotional connection. When your audience feels the story, they pay attention. This makes your speech more engaging and enjoyable. And when the audience is engaged, you feel more confident, which reduces hesitation. Confidence, flow, and audience connection work together to eliminate unnecessary pauses. To practice this, start with small, everyday stories. Describe what happened this morning, how you made breakfast, or a small event at school or work. Focus on the pictures in your mind and narrate them. Gradually, move to longer stories. Over time, your ability to speak continuously will improve naturally, because your brain will always know what comes next. Remember, facts are important, but connection is key. A story is a bridge between your ideas and your audience. It guides you forward, keeps your speech alive, and transforms pauses into smooth, confident flow. When you tell a story, you're no longer speaking word by word. You're sharing experiences, feelings, and moments that move naturally from one to the next. Technique 7. Practice with pressure before the real moment. Many people can speak clearly and confidently when they are alone at home. They know what they want to say, their sentences flow, and they feel calm. But the moment they step in front of an audience or join a live conversation, everything changes. Their mind freezes, their heart beats faster, and words escape them. Why does this happen? The reason is simple. They have never practiced under pressure. Speaking in a comfortable environment is easy, but real-life situations are unpredictable. People may ask questions, look at you expectantly, or even disagree with you. If you haven't trained your mind and body to handle that pressure, pauses will appear, confidence will drop, and fear will take over. The solution is to practice harder than the real situation. You want to make your practice sessions more challenging than the moment you fear. When you can handle pressure in practice, the real event will feel easier. One effective method is to record yourself speaking. Choose any topic, set a timer for 2 minutes, and speak without stopping. Do not allow yourself any long pauses, or sounds. Keep your voice moving. When the time is up, listen to the recording. Notice where you stumbled, where you paused too long, or where your energy dropped. Then repeat the exercise until you can go for 5 minutes straight, speaking smoothly and confidently. This forces your mind to find words continuously, even when it becomes tired or distracted. Another powerful way to practice under pressure is with friends or family. Ask them to interrupt you with small questions while you are speaking. This simulates real-life challenges, such as audience questions during a presentation. You will learn to respond quickly without losing your flow. The first few times it may feel difficult. You might pause, hesitate, or lose track of your point. But with regular practice, your brain learns to keep moving no matter what happens. You start speaking without waiting for perfect conditions. You become flexible, adaptable, and confident under any circumstance. Practicing under pressure also trains your mind to stay calm. When you experience small challenges in practice, your body becomes accustomed to handling stress. Your heart rate stabilizes, your breathing becomes steady, and your mind learns that pauses are not dangerous. Over time, this training creates a powerful habit. Even when you are nervous, your brain and mouth continue working together smoothly. Remember, preparation is not just about memorizing words. It is about conditioning your mind and body to perform under real conditions. The more you push yourself in practice, the less you will fear the actual situation. Speaking under pressure becomes second nature. The awkward pauses disappear. You gain confidence, resilience, and control. If you master this technique, you will find that real-life speaking is no longer frightening. Every presentation, conversation, or meeting becomes an opportunity to shine. By practicing under pressure, you ensure that your voice flows freely, your ideas reach your audience clearly, and your pauses become rare, deliberate, and powerful instead of accidental and stressful. Technique 8. Turn pauses into power. Here is a secret that many beginners do not realize. Not all pauses are bad. In fact, when used correctly, pauses can be one of the most powerful tools a speaker has. The problem is not pausing itself, it is freezing. A pause that comes from fear, hesitation, or forgetting your words makes you look unsure. It breaks the flow of your speech, but a pause that is controlled, confident, and intentional can give your speech authority and make your words resonate with the audience. When you pause with purpose, several things happen at once. First, you give your audience a moment to think. People need time to process information, especially if your ideas are new or important. A well-timed pause allows your listeners to reflect on what you just said. This makes your message more memorable. Second, a confident pause gives you, the speaker, time to prepare the next line. You can take a small mental breath, organize your thoughts, and continue speaking without stumbling. The pause becomes a tool, not a problem. The key to turning pauses into power is body language. When you pause, do not look down nervously, fidget, or close your eyes. Instead, maintain eye contact with your audience. Keep your posture upright, and let your face show calm confidence. You can even smile slightly, nod, or use a hand gesture. These small signals communicate control and presence. The audience will not see the pause as hesitation. They will see it as a deliberate moment, a sign that you are speaking with authority and thoughtfulness. Another important factor is your breath. Even a short pause can feel uncomfortable if your breathing is shallow or fast. Take a deep, calm breath before pausing. This keeps your body relaxed and your voice strong when you continue. A controlled pause is like a reset button. It refreshes your energy, clears your mind, and strengthens your next sentence. Over time, practicing this technique makes pauses feel natural, even powerful. You can practice this in simple ways every day. Read a short paragraph aloud and intentionally pause at certain points. Look at the audience, even if it is just a mirror. Breathe and then continue. Notice how the sentences after the pause feel stronger and how your own confidence grows. As you get used to this, using pauses in real conversations, presentations, or videos will feel completely natural. Remember, a pause does not have to be a weakness. It can be a sign of strength, control, and mastery. The audience respects a speaker who knows when to speak and when to pause. Every pause you take intentionally becomes a tool that adds rhythm, emphasis, and clarity to your speech. Once you learn to use pauses as power, your speaking will feel smoother, more professional, and more impactful. Your pauses will no longer be mistakes. They will be choices that enhance your presence, your confidence, and your connection with your listeners. Technique 9. Speak every day, not just on special days. Speaking without pausing is much like building strong muscles. If you only go to the gym once a month, your body will not get stronger. Your muscles will not grow, and your endurance will remain low. In the same way, if you only speak English during special moments, like presentations, interviews, or video recordings, you will never develop the fluency you desire. Real progress comes from daily practice, consistent effort, and small, repeated actions. Every day that you speak, you're training your brain and mouth to work together smoothly. To make speaking a daily habit, start small. You do not need to spend hours each day. Even 5 minutes of focused speaking practice can make a difference over time. Talk to yourself while doing simple tasks. Describe what you see around you. Narrate your actions as you cook, clean, or walk. For example, say out loud, "I am cutting the vegetables. The knife is sharp. I need to be careful." This may sound simple, but it trains your brain and mouth to work together without pauses. You're strengthening the speaking muscles in your mind and body. Another effective exercise is to tell the story of your day aloud. Think about the events, the people you met, and what you felt during different moments. Speak as if you are explaining your day to a friend. Do not worry about mistakes, grammar, or perfect sentences. The goal is movement, the continuous flow of words. The more you describe, explain, and narrate your experiences, the easier it becomes to think in English and speak without hesitation. Consistency is key. Just like muscles grow through daily exercise, fluency grows through daily speaking. You are training your brain to access words quickly, your tongue to form sounds smoothly, and your confidence to stay steady even when you are unsure. Each day that you speak, even for a few minutes, you are building a habit that removes pauses naturally. Over time, speaking without thinking becomes automatic. Your words begin to flow as easily as breathing. Daily speaking also trains your mind to stay comfortable with mistakes. When you speak regularly, errors feel normal and less stressful. You learn to continue without stopping every time something is not perfect. This habit reinforces one of the most important principles of fluency: movement over perfection. Every day you practice, you teach yourself that it is better to keep talking than to pause in fear of making a mistake. Remember, speaking every day transforms your English from a skill you use occasionally into a natural, automatic part of your life. The more often you speak, the less you will need to pause. Words will come easily, sentences will form naturally, and your confidence will grow steadily. Small daily steps lead to big improvements. Speak every day, and soon you will notice that pauses no longer interrupt your flow. They will disappear completely, leaving only smooth, confident, and powerful speech. Technique 10. Think in English, not in your first language. One of the biggest reasons people pause when speaking English is that they are translating in their heads. They think of what they want to say in their native language first. Then they spend extra time converting it into English. This process may seem natural at first, but it takes time, precious seconds that turn into pauses, hesitation, and sometimes even silence. Every translation step slows you down, and the more complicated your thoughts, the longer the pause. Over time, this habit can make speaking English feel stressful and unnatural, as if you are always behind your own words. If you want to speak without stopping, you must train your brain to think directly in English. The goal is to remove the middle step of translation entirely. When your mind and mouth operate in the same language, your words flow naturally. There is no searching, no conversion, and no long pauses. Speaking becomes an effortless process, more like a conversation than a mental exercise. Start small, you do not need to jump immediately into long speeches or complex sentences. Begin by describing simple things you see around you, even when you are alone. For example, look out the window and say to yourself, "The sun is bright today," or while making coffee, say, "The coffee smells good." As you walk down the street, narrate your actions in English. "I am walking to the shop. The wind is cool. The birds are singing." At first, it may feel strange or awkward because your brain is used to thinking in your first language, but with repeated practice, your mind will gradually adjust. The next step is to think about feelings and ideas directly in English. Instead of translating phrases like "I feel happy" from your native language, try to form the sentence naturally in English as soon as the thought occurs. For example, if something funny happens, think, "This is hilarious," instead of translating it word by word. Over time, your brain creates direct pathways between thought and speech, making your words faster, smoother, and more confident. Thinking in English also strengthens your overall fluency. Your mouth begins to move with your mind, not against it. Sentences form naturally. Ideas connect quickly. You notice that pauses caused by translation gradually disappear. Speaking English becomes less about struggling with words and more about expressing your thoughts freely, like you do in your first language. Remember, the goal is progress, not perfection. Some days your brain may revert to translation out of habit, and that is okay. The key is consistent practice. Narrate your surroundings, describe your feelings, and think in English every day. Small daily steps will retrain your mind. Eventually, you will find that your thoughts and speech are in sync. Your words flow without interruption, and the long, awkward pauses that once held you back will vanish completely. Technique 11. Focus on the message, not yourself. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles to speaking without pausing. Many learners pause because they are thinking too much about themselves, how they sound, how they look, or whether they are making mistakes. Every time you focus on yourself, your mind creates tension, your heart beats faster, and hesitation grows. You start imagining the worst-case scenarios. What if I mispronounce this word? Or what if they laugh at my accent? This self-focus makes pauses longer, speech slower, and confidence weaker. To overcome this, you need to shift your focus away from yourself and place it entirely on your message. Ask yourself, what do I want my listeners to feel? What do I want them to understand? How can I make it clear and meaningful for them? When your mind is busy thinking about the audience and the value of your message, there is no room for fear. Your nervous energy transforms into purpose, and your words start flowing naturally. Think about great speakers you admire. They are not perfect. They stumble sometimes, mispronounce words occasionally, or pause briefly. Yet we still feel drawn to them. Why? Because their focus is on helping the audience, not on how they appear. Their passion, clarity, and intent overshadow minor mistakes. This is the principle you must adopt. When your attention is on the impact of your words, your pauses shrink, your sentences flow, and your voice becomes confident. A practical way to train this is to practice message-centered speaking. Pick a topic, even a simple one like my favorite hobby, and ask yourself, what do I want the listener to take away from this? Speak as if you are guiding someone to understand, feel, or learn something important. Do not worry about grammar, pronunciation, or hesitation. Focus on the message. Notice how your mind becomes calmer, your words start to flow, and pauses become shorter. Another technique is to imagine a single listener in front of you. Picture a friend, a child, or someone you care about. Speak directly to them. When you speak for someone else, your brain focuses on making the message meaningful rather than worrying about yourself. This simple mental trick reduces anxiety and gives you a natural rhythm. Remember, fluency is not about perfection. It is about connection. The more you care about your message and the people receiving it, the less you will focus on your own fears. Every pause that once felt awkward can become a natural part of your rhythm, giving you a moment to emphasize a point, take a breath, or organize your next idea. Great speakers are not flawless. They are intentional. They place their message above themselves. If you do the same, your speaking transforms. Pauses no longer feel like mistakes. Your words come with clarity, energy, and purpose. By focusing on the message, you not only overcome fear, you turn it into a source of confidence, presence, and powerful natural speech. Final words. Keep the flow. Share your voice. Speaking without pausing is not about being perfect. Many learners make the mistake of thinking that every sentence must be flawless, every word carefully chosen, and every pronunciation exact. But fluency is not perfection. It is movement. It is about keeping the flow, even when your mind feels nervous or unsure. Every pause you overcome is a small victory. Every sentence you complete is a step forward in building confidence. Speaking is a skill, and like any skill, it grows stronger with consistent practice, patience, and determination. These 11 techniques you have learned are powerful tools, and their real value comes when you use them daily. Prepare your mind, train your mouth, use bridge words, tell stories, focus on your message, and think in English. Practice under pressure, turn pauses into power, and breathe intentionally. Each of these strategies supports the other, creating a strong foundation for continuous, smooth, and confident speech. Your progress will be noticeable every day, and the small improvements will accumulate into a natural, effortless fluency. Here on English Achieve, we believe that your voice matters. The world needs your ideas, your energy, and your perspective. Do not let fear silence you. Speak even when it feels difficult. Share your thoughts even if your words are not perfect. The more you speak, the stronger your voice becomes. By speaking consistently, using these techniques, and embracing your journey, you will not only speak without pausing, you will speak with power, clarity, and passion. Start today. Speak tomorrow. Speak the day after. Make speaking a daily habit, and you will notice the transformation. Soon you will experience the freedom of fluent expression, the joy of sharing your ideas confidently, and the ability to connect with others effortlessly. Keep the flow alive. Share your voice. The world is waiting to hear what only you can say.